Howdy howdy, this is Ethan Bonreal, back at it again, and I am playing more Mother 3. So it's been a while, so I'll do a quick recap for you real quick here. So last time we were here, we completed Chapter 1. Flint, the cowboy we see center screen, avenged the death of his wife Hinawa at the hands of the Mecha Drago. Unfortunately, we were not quick enough to save his son Klaus, who had rushed ahead to confront that creature, and it left the victory kind of hollow because now we're down 2 family members. But, as tragic as it is, the world doesn't begin or end with Flint and his family. As I mentioned before, Mother 3 is about change and how it impacts this entire community, so even bigger than Hinawa's death is the mystery as to what the hell is going on this island. Multiple times during Chapter 1, we ran into people wearing pig masks who seem to be releasing the cyborgs that we have been fighting as bosses so far. So, that is what we are going to be exploring. In this segment of the game, Chapter 2, we're going to follow Duster. If you don't remember him, we have seen him in Chapter 1 as a temporary party member. And Duster is going to be investigating exactly that, even though he doesn't necessarily know that yet. That's a little bit of a spoiler. But we are going to go ahead and jump into things. Flint. Ooh, I don't remember what voice I used for Duster. I'm not really sure what to say. What happened to Hinawa was a terrible tragedy. I can't say I really know how you're feeling. Hinawa's burial ended without incident. Lucas has been crying at her grave ever since. His poor little heart seems like it's about to break into 2. If there's anything else I can do for you, just let me know anytime. So, when we were initially in this scene, because we actually have been through this scene before, we were playing as Flint, so we did not hear what he said. But when we are playing as Duster, we now know the complete conversation. Duster. Thanks. This implies something kind of neat. The characters in this game actually are not silent protagonists. They, actually, when you're not controlling them, they're actually saying things. Which is something to keep in mind. They are actually reasonably reacting to the things that are going on. Duster. I speak to you not as my son, but as my pupil. Listen. The time has come. No, this is not something we have been looking forward to. I had hoped this time wouldn't come, if at all possible. But you and I have been constantly preparing for this day in the event that it did come. So it appears you finally have a chance to try out what I've taught you. The enemy's form is still unknown, but we must now change the way we live. This is actually a very important line related to what I'm talking about. Are you prepared? Yes. Duster, I am now going to give you a mission. You will sneak into Osho Castle. There you will find a certain important item and bring it here. As far as what this certain important item is, no, there is no need for me to tell you. If a thief can't determine the value of something he steals, he's a disgrace to the profession. Still, would you like to know a little about it? Yes. It's a very important looking item. It's like all shiny. Yeah, I will say no more than that. In the basement you will find items I've prepared for you. The 7 mystical thief tools. No, wait, were there 7? Well, whatever. Take them with you. They will provide useful during your battles with the enemy. Can I leave without grabbing them? Okay. I cannot. I was curious about that. What if I took one of them? So I'm going to experiment real quick. I actually have practiced off stream, or not stream, screen. But I have never actually tried to leave without taking all of them, so I'm going to take them. So these items are actually Duster's gimmick, and I wish I was a cool YouTuber and I could string together this pile of nonsense, because these items are completely disjointed from each other, and say that it ties in very deeply to the plot, or it does some world building. But these seem to just be silly items that have uses in battle, but are not necessarily too particularly lore important. But anyway, back when the king of Osohe, so I actually don't know how to pronounce this, is it Osho or Osohe, still lived in the castle. Yes, I believe that's when it was. Anyway, back then I hid this treasure where no one would ever lay eyes on it. I felt it was too much for even the king of Osohe to handle, or so I recall, anyway. But the as of yet unknown enemy may be trying to acquire it. Under normal circumstances, this would be a job that calls for me, but Duster, I feel confident that I've hammered every technique I know into you. So try to accomplish this mission yourself. Understand? When you go outside, check behind the house. I've hidden another mystical thief tool-like item there. Why did I hide them all separately like that? Well, that's what I'd like to know. I refill the box every once in a while, so feel free to keep that in mind. Alrighty, so we are gonna take him up on that and snatch up the Thunder Bomb. So this is actually a very useful item in terms of if you need to just get through a battle very quickly, throw a Thunder Bomb on it, and or whatever is causing you some grief, and it will get blown the fuck up, and you'll be able to move on with your little gay life and continue your Let's Play. So right now, it's a little ambiguous when Chapter 2 really starts. Obviously we had that cutscene that was in the middle of Chapter 1, but I think this is implied to still be kind of during Chapter 1, because time does not pass normally in this game. Either towards the tail end of it or right after the end of Chapter 1, so it's hard to tell. But we can make some visits that will help us create some inferences as to what is going on. First, we're going to get our map marked here so that we can see what is going on with the castle. And Mapson, that person we just talked to, if you didn't get to see that dialogue because I was talking, he actually lets you know who to talk to actually figure out how to get into the castle, because if you were not doing a Let's Play of this game, you probably would maybe be a bit confused. But this is one of the hints that this takes place either towards the end of Chapter 1 or after it. Lucas and Boney are home right now, so if you don't remember, Boney was not there at the last segment of Chapter 1. He stayed home, even though he was a party member for the first half of Chapter 1. And Lucas is also there, feeling kind of sad and mopey. But we don't know if Flint is inside or if Lucas is staying by himself. He doesn't reference that at all, and we don't see Flint hanging out with his son, so it's hard to tell. Now, while it's nighttime, and I'll just do this little bit of exposition, all of the businesses and the houses are inaccessible. But if you go to the Yado Inn, the only place that is open at night, you can get a few Easter eggs that also help you tell what time frame is this chapter is taking place. Do you know about the 7 mysteries of this village? I think my favorite is Tasmili Mystery number 3. Tall Mr. Beanstalk of the Crossroads. Yeah, that's actually the entire story. Oh, you're Old Man Wes's son. I heard about that wall climbing stuff you did in the Sunshine Forest. So we have this. So lighter and fuel are still here. I can't just sit here in bed and let people dote over me. I gotta start thinking about how I'm gonna rebuild my house now. I wish I could have seen your wall staple technique, Duster. That, and I wish I could have been useful somehow. Our boss acts like everything is going to be fine, but I think it's going to be pretty tough. After all, there are 4 of us and only 1 bed. Now that their house is gone, we're in a real bind too. We used to live with them and mooch off of them, you see, but this place is nice and comfy too. Plus Tessie is here too. So that's a little bit more lore. All of those people actually lived in the same house. Can we save on this bed? We cannot, but there's a frog here for us to save with, so we will take that frog up on that. Thank you, Mr. Frog. So I've done a little bit of exposition. We're going to do a little bit more just to, you know, make sure we cover all our world building points here. But I will talk a little bit about what is going on with me in just a sec here. It is currently 7 a.m. in the morning when I'm recording this, and I have not been to sleep. I'm re-simulating my experience with the Earthbound Let's Play, where I am just recording videos as a way to manifest getting control of my life again. I was doing very good at keeping a good sleep schedule, and then Thanksgiving break happened, and I have ruined all of that for myself, but that's okay, because sometimes you just need to do that a little bit. I'm going to explore a little bit in the village before I leave, just so you can see what it looks like at night. And just, you know, let you know you're not really missing out on anything. I will say this is a game where you do, I don't know how to explain it, you shift perspectives a good bit. And so there are a lot of little Easter eggs and contextual things you can kind of pick up if you're exploring. If you're trying to rush through the game, which is valid because it is a JRPG and it's very easy to get tired of reading, you can miss some stuff that kind of point out what's going on in this game, but you still will get the general idea. Oh, excuse me. Oh, pardon me, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, I need a good voice for this character. I'm sorry, but we're in a terrible hurry, if you'll excuse us. Come now, little monkey, we should be off. I'm probably gonna forget that voice. Girl, I have to start, like, I wish I could write down voices or something. Like, what I really need to do is listen to my own episodes and remember what voices I use for shit, but it's kind of hard. So we're going to go figure out what was going on with that person. So if you don't remember, this is a small village. And we basically know every single person who lives here. So someone who is a traveler is very weird. That's very strange that there is someone visiting. He's a generous guy. He treated me to some bourbon. So this one's for him. Cheers. You know that monkey the guest in the middle room brought with him? He's so cute. His cries are a little sad though. So it's locked. And so that is actually secretly a little bit of world building. So you may have noticed the doors are not actually locked. We are just being polite and not going into them. None of the other people who are staying here are locking their doors. Ooh, I almost spoiled it. This person who is visiting is the only person who has locked their door, and they very clearly look like they are not from the village. So, they're not really from the same culture as the people here, where they're very open with each other and kind of share things. And remember, when we needed help in Chapter 1, we basically just took everything we needed for free. They don't use money here, they just help each other. Duster! If you promise not to tell anyone, I'll let you in on a cool secret. Check out this bag. What do you think's inside it? Money! There's money inside it. Ever heard of money? What? You don't know what money is? Well, actually, I'm not really sure either. After all, we've never had it in Tasmilly before. But apparently an era of money is about to start. What? What's an era of money? Huh? Oh, well, a traveler gave it to me in exchange for some of my pigs. Yeah, he took a real liking to my pigs, and then he asked me in tears if I'd trade them for this. It did seem pretty strange to me at first, but I decided to trust the guy. He's definitely a friend worth having. Anyways, he gave it to me, which means it's mine, right? I don't want any ignorant people taking off with it, so I'm gonna hide it in this well here. Duster, the secret is between just you and me. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So again, when I talk about kind of the world building in the game, or, you know, what is kind of going on in the overarching plot, I'm not gonna really spoil things unless it is about to, like, immediately happen, if that makes sense, because it just kind of works with the flow. Oh. Hmm. Well, that was weird. That was suspicious. So, unfortunately, we have not done any action in this part. But sometimes in a JRPG, you just need to click on people and fucking read. So we are going to worry about that more next part. I am going to cut the video, and I will see you in the next part. Thank you very much.